Christ almighty. Well, at least I can see myself fucking moving this time. Fucking hell, man. This goddamn computer. There we go. Bloody hell, man. That was annoying. I know, eh? Bloody hell, what's going on there? What for that? It's pretty crazy skip, isn't it? Bloody hell. But yeah, no, and like I said, I thought it was all pretty funny, really, because to be fair, I was not far off with Beast Boy, because obviously, like, I noticed he was doing a bunch of videos on her. And I was like this close, like I don't know him, but I was this close to messaging him and going, I don't know, man, you might want to stop messaging and like doing so many fucking videos because it could be seen as, you know what YouTube's like these days. And then she's done like 40 to 50 videos on Tati, which I thought was hilarious, like absolutely hilarious that she even thinks that she has a leg to stand on in any respect, really. I mean, if you're just talking about a moral aspect, she definitely doesn't. So yeah, it's a totally different issue. You're right there, May May. But yeah, I don't know. The funny thing is, it always cracks me up when you get creators who they just do all of their content on like one specific I hate that word content, but that's a different story for a different time. But all of their videos on a specific person, because you just start looking like a troll channel eventually, and this is what we've seen come to pass with Without a Crystal Ball. So I think it's hilarious. Did you get my bat signal? No. But yeah, I get most signals on Twitter, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I've noticed for a while. It's quite funny, right? So before all that stuff happened with Beast Boy, for some reason I got onto a bit of a rabbit hole Without a Crystal Ball, and I spent at least like 2 days straight just watching videos like that people had done about her, and this was like months ago now. And I remember thinking, I don't want to fucking go near her at all. There's something don't seem right there. And yeah, it's looks like I was right. I usually am when it comes to this stuff. No, it's I don't want to be too far up my own ass, but yeah, it's there's some people, right, and especially in the drama community, and you get it in real life, but in any way you work, where you meet someone and you're like, I'm not sure about you, man. There's something about you I can't quite put my finger on, but I know that I'm going to be proven right in some way, shape, or form. And I always go into it wanting to be proven wrong. Very rarely, very, very rarely. It's just I'm super suspicious. Cool. She's back on Twitter, is she? Great. Well, the thing is, what my next prediction is she is probably going to start throwing her weight around on very small creators, not actually being able to see the hypocrisy in what she's going to be doing, because she doesn't have the ability. She's not aware of hypocrisy or irony. So yeah, and she takes herself way, 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 way too seriously. So, it's and it goes back to Sanders Kennedy. So I've done a video on Sanders Kennedy, and I summed it all up saying, and I think sort of Nick Snyder said something similar too, which is she threatened us a few of them already. Call me Psychic Sloth. But yeah, what was I going to say? I got a notification from a channel called Grammar Purpies, and I have no idea when or why I subbed. It was all Nick Ricardo videos. Oh god. when I did my video on him, I watched like 3 days straight of just pure Nick Ocado videos and him and Orlin kicking off at each other. And by the end of it, I don't know, I just you know when you like you research a subject so much and you like at first you're like, oh, I can't wait to do a video on this. And then you're like, I'm sick of the sight of them. And that's my problem, I think, with YouTube a bit, is why I think I take breaks from it. It's because I get to a point where, like, if I'm happy, I love the drama. I think it's great. I love watching it. Don't like inserting myself into it too much, but I like to see it from the outside. But when I'm like not happy, I become pretty nihilistic. I'm like, fuck all these fucking people, man. I don't give a shit about any of them. Like, it's just, you know, like for instance, when drama again was happening, I loved it, and then everything since has been a bit sort of like I don't know about. I don't fucking care about him. It's when all the people were having the part. Well, they still are, but we're having the parties um, against the quarantines, and it was like idiots are idiots do as idiot does. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. Yeah, you're damn right, Skip. You shouldn't target one particular person at the end of the day. If you're going to do a commentary channel, then you should. Otherwise, you're just, you are a troll channel at the end of the day. That's all there is to it. It's there's plenty of those. Like there's this dude, Wings of Redemption, and he has tons and tons and tons of troll channels based around him. And they gotten to the point now where they've got tens of thousands of people following them, and they actually make money from it. It's pretty hilarious if it wasn't quite sad. Um, I cannot watch him or anyone eat. Me too, May May. And it's always fucking noodles, isn't it? It's just always the weirdest, rankest food. I don't get it. Like, I said it before. I don't want to watch people eat noodles at the best of times, let alone go out of my way to watch hours and hours of it. And they always like the slurping. It's rank, man. It's so rank. There are so many hate channels on Without a Crystal Ball. There totally are. But people don't necessarily get hate channels out of the clear blue sky. That's the other thing as well. There's no smoke without fire. Do I think that she should have a ton of channels based on her? No, because that is essentially bullying. But there is no smoke without fire at the end of the day. It's like, there's a reason why there's plenty of people who don't have those kinds of channels done. Yes, there's a whole batch of people that I feel the same way about. I don't care. I can't sit through those videos. Well, that's it as well. I could do a drama channel. In fact, when I first started, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go 3 videos a week, which obviously that hasn't happened. But I was just like, half these people, I just don't. I couldn't give a shit if their channel like stayed on or not. It really doesn't matter to me. It's inconsequential. So yeah, you watch some crazy stuff though, Sloth. Crazy addiction. Yeah, no, I do like my weird stuff. I'm not going to lie at all. Oh man, like so. All right, I walked into the kitchen the other. People eating today. All right, so Dr. Pimple Popper, right? Totally. Like, it's one of those things that when I was going through all of those my strange addiction videos, I was like, no, not going near that. Don't want to know. If I have a pimple myself, I'm not into popping it myself, but pimp popper. But yeah, like I walked into the kitchen, my parents were watching it. It's like, what the fuck are you watching? There's this guy who had this like growth coming out of his leg that was like the size. I think it was like the size. It was like 10 kilos, which is like 20 pounds, which is absurd. To just having this hanging off his leg, and I just couldn't believe. And what was even more insane, because obviously this is all in America, yeah, because I was thinking, I've never seen anyone in the UK rocking around with shit like that, like ever. It just doesn't happen. And of course, we've got the NHS over here. And the thing is, and I remember when my friend, he had like a growth coming out of his neck, and it turned out it wasn't cancerous, but they still removed it within a couple of months because at the end of the day, they don't want to take any chances at the same time. So and so I was thinking, why on earth is this over in the States? These people have got these things like that guy had that growth for like 15 years. Like it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. Yeah, 20. It wasn't a pimple. That's the thing. That's the thing with Pimple Popper. I'm getting excited now because there's a program I've gotten into it, sadly. But it, I've not seen a pop one pimple. I've not seen her do it. It's all these like heinous growths. Like there was this woman who had like this growth coming out of her arm like this, and she had that for like 10 years. And of course, you got to pay for everything over there, haven't they? So they go to the doctors and they're like, yeah, it's probably not cancerous. You would have died. Like one of them had an actual quote like this. They said, if it was cancerous, you probably would have died from it by now. So you're like, can we get it off? He's like, yeah, 10 grand sort of thing. And it's like, what the fuck? It's just so absurd. Like I say, there's, I don't want to, because I mean, obviously, there's a lot of craziness going on in the States this week, so I don't want to lay it on too thick, but that's the one thing that would never, ever, besides all of this madness this week, um, that would never get me moving over there is the fact that I've got to pay crazy amounts to stay alive. It's just really bizarre, man. Like 10 grand and I'm cutting that shit out myself. Exactly, man. Well, that was the thing. She went off to this program, Dr. Pimple Popper, and yeah, man, it was fucking gnarly, dude. It was like some kind of gone off cheese from the back of the fridge. You know what I mean? It's just been forgotten about for time. It was minging, absolutely minging. Like, that's the thing. It's like one of those ones that you're watching, and you're like sort of, oh my god, what the fuck is this? But yeah, so hoarders I've gotten obsessed with because I don't get it. Like I find that mad. My crazy addiction, so women eating dirt and drywall and shit like this, and then Dr. Pimple Popper. So what's next? I don't even know. Oh, I do like watching Botched every now and again. That's quite interesting. Um, I've watched Crazy Addiction where the guy loved his car, but I can't watch the real gross ones. Yeah, so the car one, and they always want to tell their parents. That's the really funny thing about it. It's not like it's like one of those ones where I could deal with anything that my kids came up to me with, like pretty much just like any life choice. I think I'd be cool with. But if they were like, "Dad, I'm having sex with my car," I'd be like, "What? Sorry, what did you just say to me, boy?" I think we're going to the asylum, you and me. Jesus Christ. PND lover, hello from Brazil here. Whoa, Brazil. Hello. How's it going? I tend to think everyone who watches me are just from America or Canada. I looked at my analytics and yeah, saw people from Canada. Well, Canada and America, even the North Americas, but South America too. Not many British, which I think is a bit of a diss, but whatever. I'll do it for 3K. Yeah, don't trust you, Skip. Sloth, I'm worried about you and the shows you watch. Just saying, listen, you don't need to be worried about me. Yeah. It's not like I watch any of this stuff and I go, you know what? This seems like a bloody good idea. I think I'll give it a try. It would be fantastic. Mum, Dad, I want you all to meet my new girlfriend. Exactly. Well, so there was this like older dude, right? um, who, like, to be fair, he was in his like, he must have been in his 70s or something. Do what you want at that age. It's not hurting anyone, but he was like really into balloons, like obsessed with balloons. He had like, so like, say this room was just all full of balloons, and then the middle was like a fucking massive weather balloon. And he's like, "Oh, this one's the best one." It's so weird. It's so weird. I would have to if I could figure it out, I'd have to watch some of that kind of stuff with you guys at some point on a stream because fuck me, like, honestly, it's so weird. But I really do love my strange addictions. The thing is, I rinsed it all on YouTube. Like I literally watched every single video that there is on YouTube. There are no more, so I'm pretty gutted about that. Um, uh, really gutted about it actually. Hey mom, this is my girl. Cat. Yeah, it's madness. Have you seen the one where the woman is really into the fairground ride? It's like a Ferris wheel that she was into when she was a kid, and then like it got taken away, and then she tracked it down. Obviously, it's American as well. Tracked it down across America, and she's just like, I love his nuts. I love his bolts. I love his widgets. It's so bizarre. It's yeah, like I say, but I just like oddness. Like it's a bit like so. I watch American Horror Story Freak Show, and obviously I don't like stuff to freak shows to that extent. But it's like it is TLC is a freak show, really. Let's just be honest. It's the learning channel. I guess I've learned stuff. I guess, but sort of how to spin myself out just before bed, I guess, is the thing that I've learned the most. um, yeah. What the hell have you been watching? You don't even want to know. This is the thing. All of this is fucking tame compared to like I've got some documentaries on here on my computer that would spin you out, man. Like there's this one called Tickled, and I'm not even going to tell you what it's about. Like you just need to go watch it. Like it will fuck you up. It's like, don't worry, it's not like well, I don't know. I guess it is pretty gnarly, but it's not like gratuitously gnarly. It's just like a gnarly story, I guess. Um, Sloth got serious there. There are no more. Yeah, I was really annoyed. Really annoyed. Listen, when I went through that day and I was like typing it all up on Twitter and being like, "Oh my god, I just watched this woman who like just saves soiled nappies and sucks on them and stuff like that." I was that day was an awesome day. I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking brilliant. I think it was a pizza day too. So yeah, I was living the dream that day. It was fucking sick. uh, no, I didn't. It's she in love with it. Yeah, it's fully in love with it. With the not the roller coaster, the Ferris wheel. Yeah, fully. Weirdly, it's like, I would love to. I would love to present one of those shows. That would be the best. That would be fucking amazing. Um, oh, I love your nuts. I love your bolts. I can. Yeah. It's true. It's true. It's like that's what she was like. She's like spinning out and talking about the oil and shit like this in an unsavory manner. It's so weird. I love the one I saw where she's like eating. There's one who was eating mattress, and like she was like didn't spin out the fact that the mattress came out exactly the same way as it went in. If you get what I'm saying, like it's like it didn't like its form didn't change. It went in as mattress and it left as mattress. You know what I mean? It was fucking weird, man. And then there's this woman who's eating drywall, and she's like, "How come?" She goes to the doctor, and the doctor's obviously like, "You shouldn't be eating drywall. There's like glass and all sorts of weird shit in here." And to you and me, that would be a given. Like, just try not to eat the drywall if you can. That's why it's sold in a builder's merchant and not a restaurant. And she's like, "How come no one taught me to not to eat the drywall? No one said don't eat the drywall." And it's like, and he's like, "Yep, you shouldn't be eating it." And it's like, you knew you shouldn't have been eating it because there's a reason why you wouldn't let people in your house past a certain point because you were eating all the fucking drywall. Like, and then she was like going off. like source more drywall. It was weird, man. It was so weird. It was so weird. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that kind of weirdness. Um, what it was it tickled on YouTube. I don't know if it's on YouTube because it is a legit documentary. Basically, this guy from New Zealand sort of falls into like he's like a reporter and he finds out about this really weird um what start off they start off as tickling competitions, right? And that's all I'm going to tell you. Like, so you got to like download it, whatever other medium it might be on, go and find it. But it's wild. It's so wild. It is not. It doesn't end the way you think it's going to at all. It's really fucking weird. But don't worry, it's not like yeah, it's not like gnarly. There's a gnarly aspect to it, but it's not like yeah, it's not pornographic, is what I'm saying. I love American Horror Story. Season 3 is my favorite. Oh, Coven. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, the Witches one. I like that one. Have you seen all the seasons or just Freak Show? I've watched every. I'm on Hotel at the moment, which I'm really enjoying. I think I'm a couple of episodes off finishing that, maybe 2 or 3. Um, I love it. I think Hotel is probably the most spin-out worthy one I've watched so far. But it started me watching them again because I watched the series Ratched, who I think is based on the character of Nurse Ratched, and but it's really good series. I really enjoyed it. But it's because it's the same woman. I think it's the same people who made American Horror Story. I got that vibe anyway, and that's what made me go, "Oh yeah." I didn't finish Freak Show in the end, so I watched that, and then I'm cracking on with Hotel, and I think there's Roanoke or Roanoke or however it's pronounced. I'm not really sure, um, and some other ones too. I can't remember, but I'm going to crack on. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I saw the diaper talk. Um, those are the worst, like the women that ate her cat's hair. Yeah, man, it's like it's really weird. And then it was like she didn't get into her head that there's a reason why cats cough up the fucking hair. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's a hairball. Why do you think they're getting rid of them? It's because it's not good for them, obviously. For Christ's sake, it's like no, I'll eat that. That seems good. Why not? Jesus, it's just on one level you feel bad for them because it's obviously there's something that's gone wrong. It's like with the hoarders, right? The hoarding is shocking, but ultimately there's a reason for there's a reason for why they are the way they are. You know, they haven't just started hoarding for shits and giggles. It's usually because like their parents were into like collecting or something like that, and then they died, and then they're stuck with their parents' stuff. But then they start collecting stuff too. But then it's when they like can't chuck away a yogurt pot that's been used, or no, I need that collection of toenails. It's like weird, man. Like that dead cockroach has been on my windowsill for 20 years. You can't get rid of that. That's wild. Like it's bizarre. It's but I love all that stuff. In fact, actually, because of my Fabry disease, obviously, if you've watched my video on it or been around, you know that I've got that. So I have this treatment every 2 weeks, and I have nurses come to the house and they um, give me the enzymes that I need to live a normal life, basically. And I always, if it's a new nurse, I grill them like no one's business. Like, well, not like that sounded harsher than it is. I'm just like, have you ever been to a hoarder's house, man? Like, what's the worst house you've ever been to? Like, what's the weirdest? Like, obviously, they don't give you names or anything like that, but I'm super interested in that kind of stuff because, yeah, I just find it bizarre. Like, something goes, and you're just like, let me never ever chuck anything out ever again. Whereas I can get to a point where, like, I get it might get messy, but then I like trip over something. I'm like, fuck this, man. Everything's got to be tidied up now. I can't live like this anymore. Whereas they don't have that. They'll just like, excuse me. They're just like, I've got to, walk around this 15-year collection of pizza boxes. It's just weird, man. It's so weird. Um, can you react to one of those shows? Yeah, easily. That's nothing to me. That's fun. That's fun, if anything. So I should do that at some point. Um, Whether I do it live or in a video, probably live would be funnier because you'd get my honest reaction, I guess. Um, PND, I have seen them all, just love them so much. Oh, American Horror Story, yeah, they're fantastic. They're really good. They're really, really good. I remember watching the first season, and because my sister got me into it years ago, I was like, "This is bloody awesome, man! I can't believe this is an actually decent horror based TV show for a change, because it doesn't happen that often, to be fair." Oh my god, drywall. Oh, I'm a bit behind on this. Yeah, yeah, drywall, Siley. The accent. Oh, you must be talking about the American accent. I don't. Oh no, the Southern accent even. Yeah, it's pretty bad, but I am pretty British, so it's not exactly the easiest thing for me to do. Um, I've only seen season one. What of American Horror Story? Skip. Um, I do love the Hoarders show. The Hoarders show is awesome. That's the original. That's the that's the one I love the most. It's fantastic. It's because there's like two categories really. There's like people who collect and they just collect, their collections go too far. Like I need 150 bicycle frames in my garden. Don't ask me why, And then there's the people who, yeah, like I say, it's just like they keep actual filth and stuff like that. So it's and they have to buy stuff. You get, obviously, people are pretty commercial and materialistic in general, but and it's easy to um it's easy, right? So when you're feeling down, it's probably a little less easy to do now because obviously we've been quarantined and such to do this year. But like usually, if you're feeling down, you go out and you buy yourself something and you feel better, at least for that like period of time. And it's something that people do, depending on what level. It could be hoarding or just regular folk. But because I've done that, like, oh man, like I pop to the shops and you get yourself a new, I don't know, jumper or t-shirt or whatever. You just need to sort of shake something up a little bit. But it's when you don't chuck anything away, that's the problem. And then when you can't go past a shop or like a shop, thrift store, without purchasing something every single time. Do you know what I mean? It becomes like a crazy. Well, it's a strange addiction. It just has its own category. It's just not in the Strange Addiction TV show. Um, there is some mental issues that they have to eat things or keep things. You never know what triggers these issues in people. No, invariably, from what I've seen, and again, I'm just going from the programs that I've watched. It tends to be something to do with the parentals dying is what it is. It's like, maybe they weren't prepared for life and then the parent dies, so they spin out and they keep all of their stuff. It's sort of this weird thing. It's always always blame the parents, but no, it's or their parents were hoarders themselves, and then not only have they got their parents' hoard, but then their own hoard, and they don't want to chuck away their parents' hoard because they feel bad, because they're like, well, they love this stuff so much, so if I get rid of it, am I getting rid of a piece of them? It's harsh, like I say, and it's hard for them to be able to um yeah, to get over that barrier. It's a mental barrier that I don't think people ever do get over. You might be able to um sort of control yourself a little bit better. But yeah, otherwise, in general, it doesn't. doesn't pan out that way. It's sad, really. I mean, it's entertainment at the same time. But if you're really going to break it down, then yeah, it's fucking sad, man. At the end of the day, but if you don't laugh, then you cry, I guess. So I guess we'll laugh for the time being. I was looking for North Americans doing lives to watch, and I ended up clicking on your live. uh, I'm sorry to disappoint you. No, well, it's just one of the things at the moment. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the States at the moment where I thought I wasn't planning on doing a live tonight, but I thought, well, people can just listen to a sarky British dude for a little bit. Maybe it'll take your mind off the insanity that's occurring over there at the moment. I'm not going to get into that because you're getting it from all fronts, and that's not what this particular stream is about anyway. I don't know what the stream's about. I'm just sort of talking out my ass, really, but you get where I'm coming from. Right, the unsanitary conditions is what is shocking. It's always the fridge, man. Are you kidding me? The fridge is fucking rank every time. It's not like I have a thing about this as well because I used to live in shared houses, and no one keeps the fridge good, man. It's just the last house I lived in, like a shared house. It was like they hated the fridge. And I had to and I got to the point where I was like, I'm sick of cleaning this bastard fridge all the time. And because they know that I'll snap before they do, they just have to outlast me, and I'll just go, fine, I'm gonna clean this fucking thing. Fridge, bathrooms, and no running water. Oh man. So dude, you just reminded me of one that was just, it was probably the worst one I ever seen. So, just like you said, ticked all those boxes, and then no running water. So, what she was doing, right? This woman, and she was old, and she was obviously off a rocker at this point. They're like, "Where do you go to the toilet?" And she goes, "Well, I still go to the toilet in there." And they were like, "But we can't get in. The door won't open." And she's like, "Yeah, you can open up a crack." Because what she does is she was pooing in these plastic bags and then tying them up and then just chucking the bag into the room. So we'll just open it up a crack and then chuck it in there. Like before, obviously, she was able to go in and sling it in. I was going to say as you normally would. There's nothing normal about that. and and yeah, and so when they got it all out, it was like seriously no joke because she'd been left to her own devices for decades. It was like 8 or 9 tons, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the same weight as what a T-Rex would have been when it was live. So she was crapping it, had the shit's worth of T-Rex worth of shit in her fucking bathroom, man. It was obscene, like absolutely obscene. Yeah, just slinging them right in there, Skip. It was terrible. It was bloody hanging. Thinking about subscribing to your channel and taking a look at your videos about YouTubers. Cool, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. I'm not good at self-promoting, so yeah, that'll be righteous if you do. Thank you very much. You should. He's got a good sense of humor. Oh, thank you, Skip. Sarcastic sense of humor. Well, I do what I say on the tin, really. It gets so gross for me when there are animals being hoarded. Also, really bad conditions. Yeah, to be honest with you, that's the one out of all of them, out of all of the stuff we've talked about. That's the one that's hard for me to watch. I'm only laughing there because I'm thinking about all the stuff we've talked about. But yeah, man, it's. Do you really need 50 rattlesnakes in your bedroom? Do you know what I mean? Do you need 200 tarantulas in your? It's bizarre, man. It's so bizarre. I don't get why you need that many. Like we've got a cockapoo. Maybe if we've got one more dog, that would be sick. That's it. Otherwise it's too many. It's just it's a gang then, isn't it? I just don't know why the people who hoard animals, a lot of the time they tend to go for super dangerous ones. I don't need that kind of I'd go sleep in the jungle, man. if I'm going to surround myself with that amount of dangerous stuff, just go sleep in the source. Oh my god, that's terrible. Pooping in bags, chucking them in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tons of poop. Yeah, literally tons, tons. It was obscene, absolutely obscene. I never have I ever seen anything like it. And as you can probably guess by now, I've seen a lot. So it's there was this woman that I saw who she would like poo in this bucket and she would chuck it into her garden and like she would like be annoyed when her neighbors were fucking annoyed that she just chucks all her poo in the garden. And then they were like, oh, but she's like, oh, but I'm being conscientious because I'm letting it all get to the top first and then I'm chucking it out as opposed to just willy nilly. It doesn't make a difference because it's all going out there in the end anyway. So what are you talking about? And she was literally like, she's literally like, why didn't anyone tell me this? Why didn't anyone tell me this? Like, what planet? Well, we all know what planet they're on, really. It's not this one. It's and as with any of these people that I'm talking about, I want them all to get help, obviously. At no point. The thing for me with everyone is I just want everyone to have a happy ending. I just know that's not going to be happening if you're hoarding, eating drywall, and collecting tons of poo. It's just not going to happen. It's what has this stream become? I don't know what this is anymore. I don't know what this is, but whatever. Yeah, fuck me. This is ridiculous. The stream is your Twitter, basically, isn't it, man? Really, just less furry animals. Man, oh, Charles is there, but Jess isn't in here. Let's talk surfing. Okay, what do you want to talk about? Because I'm usually I'm the only person who wants to talk about it. So, um, there was a guy in Florida last week who was mauled to death by a black leopard. I didn't know you had them over there. He paid to have contact visit. He paid to have a contact visit with it in some guy's illegal backyard zoo. Oh, okay, so we're talking about some Tiger King types, are we? That was a crazy thing I didn't realize was just how many of them that you guys, usually not you guys specifically, but over there in general. Sorry, I've just seen that PND lover. Do you enjoy watching all that? I could never. That's too much disgusting. Enjoy is probably not the word for it. It's morbid fascination, I think, for me. Because I like any kind of, off the ball info, I guess. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her, but I can't remember her name, but the channel is called Ask a Mortician. Um, and it's exactly as it says on the tin. You can like um ask her any questions about the funeral process because it's obviously different over there again, I think. And she'll answer it, and to me that's something. Before I came, like, I didn't go looking for that channel. It just pops up with like all sorts of random stuff on my and on my feed on my YouTube. But yeah, I just got I haven't watched her in ages because it was one of those things of sort of felt like I learned all I could at that point. But I'll go back to it because it's probably been about a year since I've watched it. But yeah, it's just like stuff that you didn't know. It's because of like a lot of the stuff that just gets fed to you is pretty bloody boring, to be honest with you. Excuse me. In mainstream media. Um, oh, I am bluffing, but I watched that video of the giant surfing video you sent. I can't surf at all. Yeah, well, I haven't surfed in a while, annoyingly, because obviously quarantine and all that jazz. But yeah, I love it. I've never surfed anything like that. That's in Nazaré in Portugal, which is home to, the biggest surfable waves anyway. Obviously, the biggest waves you're going to get are out to sea that aren't like breaking. Breaking wave is what you see at the beach when it's, yay far from the actual shore, and what surfers usually ride. But yeah, I love it. It's awesome. It's very peaceful. That's why I like skating too. But I don't sort of, I sort of skate how I surf anyway. I just skate about. But yeah, I love it. It's awesome. You got to have something that sort of, focuses you and allows you to sort of think about nothing for a bit, because otherwise, with my brain anyway, if I'm left to my own devices, then man, Jesus Christ. I love Ask a Mortician. Yeah, she's awesome. Let me find out you can surf. All right, because it's such great information. Those surfing clips you post on Twitter give me so much anxiety. Do you know what? Right, I would, if I lived in a country which had those kinds of waves, I would give anything to surf that kind of stuff. I really would. Like, I really, really would. I'm a bit unhinged when it comes to that kind of thing, but but yeah, I live in Wales. You might have seen, actually, you might have done. Ireland has been getting its largest waves reported, and a lad surfed a 60-foot wave at a spot called Mullaghmore Head. The cool thing about Ireland is whenever you see any kind of island surfing clips, it's like the water there is green, like the sea is green. That's like pretty wild, for one. But then also because obviously they're taking the full brunt of like the Atlantic, so they get a lot of the really big waves. But of course, in Wales, if you look at the map, so it's like, say, here's Ireland, here's America, and all that over here. England, Scotland, and Wales. Wales is getting blocked directly by Ireland, so I resent Ireland a little bit because they block all the really good swell that would actually give us the good waves. So, I mean, we get all right waves here. I'm not going to bitch about it. I live on the coast, so it's better than most people at the end of the day. I know a lot of people would really like to live on the coast, but not necessarily to surf either. But yeah, I would like it if we had some 60-foot waves around here. That would be amazing. But it's probably better I don't. I never said it was no big deal. But that's the point of it, is like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's a bit of a, I don't know how to explain it. It's just one of those things where you just have like this sort of feel like, and obviously not so much a need. Otherwise, I would have gone out of my way to go to places like Portugal and stuff like that. But it costs a lot of money to go over there. And then if you're going into those really big waves, so 60-footers, you've got to get towed into it, because with surfing, to get into the wave, you have to match the speed of the wave. And obviously, if the bigger a wave is, the faster it's going. So, these 60-foot plus waves, or even less than that, are going really, really fast. So you can only get into them with a really large surfboard, so like a 10-foot surfboard, or you get towed into them. And then the surfboard is smaller, but obviously it's strapped to your feet. But then you need someone to do that with, and then you basically need a team. If you're going to surf that kind of wave, you can't just like go out Point Break style. And like, the sea is my mistress, and I hope I don't, I hope I come back from the abyss, sort of thing. But yeah, it's just something that I'll probably never do, but I've always had that thing where I've always been fascinated with it. Let me just leave it at that. Um, just some water sports I wish I could. Surfing, obviously you don't have to surf those kinds of waves, but surfing is just fun anyway. It's really fun. It's the funnest thing. It's great. It's just I don't know how to I don't know how to put it into words without coming off like a hippie. So let's just Yeah, it's great. I'll leave it at that. "Yeah, man, you just won with the wave, man." You know? Um, did he die? No, 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 no. I'm always like, "Did he die?" No. Um, I can't remember the last time someone died from surfing a big wave, actually, because I keep up to date with all of that. Just the surfing, not the deaths. But obviously, it's a small community anyway, so you hear about that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, at least. Totally tubular. 60-foot wave, no big deal. Yeah, it is a big deal. It's why people do it, and you're scared. Like, and like it's one of those things as well with surfers. They'll say, I was shitting my pants whilst I was doing that. There's no like look at me and my big balls in that sport. They all know what it is. Um, you it's scary, man. But that's why you do it. That's why people bungee jump. That's why people do all sorts of mad stuff at the end of the day. I don't know how I didn't realize there was good surfing in the UK. I always think it's in Australia and South America. Well, obviously Hawaii, Tahiti, Pacific in general, Australia, obviously, like you say, South America. Yeah, definitely got some really good waves down there. We do have here, but like I say, islands is where the big ones are. That's you know that takes the brunt of um for like so the reason why I'm posting a lot of stuff up in regards to surfing now at this time of year is because like the big waves and the good waves come with the storms. The storms start out at sea. Obviously, we're seeing the brunt of that now. I'm not sure if you're seeing that at the moment over in the States, but over here, the fucking weather has been horrendous at the moment. But you either want to catch the waves just before or just after the really big storms set in, ideally. Or the reason why Hawaii gets really good waves is because there's a lot of storms outside of Japan, like all the time, most of the year. Obviously, more so in the winter. Um, we've gone from my strange addiction hoarding, pimple popping, to surfing. You never know where a stream of mine is going to go. Really, there we go. Oh, fellow fangirl, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you again. Yeah, no, good to see you. I've not gonna lie, I've just been pretty um well slack with it, to be honest with you. I've had some personal stuff to deal with outside of it, and the thing is, like, yeah, like I was explaining before, I get pretty like with YouTube. Like if I'm not feeling good about it, I'll get a bit nihilistic about it. I'm just like, fuck all these people. What do I care? Why am I going to go out my way to make a 10-minute video? So I should be better at it, and I should be better at self promotion and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, oh, maybe in the new year, hey. So it's an adrenaline junkie thing. Well, yeah, the reason why anyone does anything that scares them is adrenaline junkie aspect, I would imagine. Um, that's the thing, right? With anything, if you look at it and you think it's scary to that person too. But the reason why they do it is because they are able to harness that fear. Do you know what I mean? So it's like with base jumping or something like that. That to me is crazy. That to me is crazy. Just slinging yourself off a cliff. And it's just because, like for me, the way I reason it, at least I've got a bit more of a chance in the water. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm going to be wearing like a life jacket, and someone else is going to have a. Well, this is if I did it, of course. But if someone's going to have a jet ski, and they train. It's not like cowabunga, dude. Let's just go and chase these waves. It's coming for like a week out, and then closer to it, then you'll travel to that area, and then you go in teams. Basically, is how it goes. Um, is it true? That's quite the conversation. It is, fellow fangirl. Absolutely. Is it true that the water in England is dark? I was watching a UK YouTuber, and he said that Brazilian waters are perfect, and he couldn't find clear waters in England. Well, it depends. It depends on where that person is. So, like say Cornwall. Cornwall's got really good water. Um, well, I don't know what you how do you refer it to, water clarity. Let's just call it. um, yeah, I guess so. Where I am, it can be because on one side of the bay is like a plant, so obviously they're going to be pumping out whatever whatever it is they pump out. Let's not look into it too much. But where I live, it's like a peninsula, and we actually do have clear waters. But it's it, you're right. I mean, like, so if you're going to, I mean, I imagine the waters are clearer again if I go to like Tahiti or somewhere like that. Do you know what I mean? It all depends on where you are in the world, how untouched that place is. Um, you know, but I mean, you're saying about the watercolors again. Weirdly enough, in Ireland, the water's sort of green. It's not like literally nuclear green, but it has a green hue to it. So it's kind of weird actually, because like I can see a picture of a wave, and I can more or less, because surfers go to the same waves every year, and the same spots produce you know like in Hawaii, they've got names for waves. They've got pipeline, they've got Piahi, they've got Waimea, and all of these kinds of waves. I can, by looking at the wave, I know where it is in the world, but that's just because I've seen so much footage of it and I've seen so many pictures of it. And I am, if I get into something, I really get into something. So I end up like just becoming quite fanatical about stuff. So with surfing, that's one of my things. And yeah, I'd say there's parts of the UK where the water is clear, but there are definitely parts of the UK where it's not. I live in a place where it is and it isn't, so it's a bit of a weird paradox. But I would say the water is definitely darker here. But then you've got to think that you know we live in a it's a fucking grey island, man. Apart from like maybe 2 months out of the year, it's the weather's not great, man. It's all right, but it's not fantastic. It's certainly not Brazil. It's probably good that you took a break then. Glad you're feeling a bit better. Yeah, thanks. No, it's I'm feeling better. Thanks for that. It's yeah, it's there's no point in doing videos where you're not, because I have done a couple of videos where my energy was subpar, and then I look back on it and I'm like, I fucking hate that video. I can't even look at it again, sort of thing. Where it's like the information was decent, but I just don't feel like I did it in a way that um I can basically. And then I've noticed at the beginning of the quarantine, my videos were a lot more high energy than they are now, which I don't know if that's because I was maybe putting on like a "Hi guys, how's it going" sort of persona, or I'm just getting more relaxed as it goes on. But I've definitely noticed a difference. Whether or not it's good or not, I don't know. Um, And yeah, Dramageddon was just so fun, man. I know people bitch about it, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I find stuff like that delicious, dude. It's like every other day something's happening. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That means I don't have to go looking for videos then. It's perfect. Um, you have to be in the right headspace to see purpose in creating anything. This year has been rough, exactly. Greece had the nicest water I have ever seen, but no waves really. I love the ocean. Wish I lived closer. Yeah, Greece I've been to once. You're right, actually. No, I've never really heard of anything wave wise coming from Greece. To be honest with you, there's certainly no famous waves there. Um, but yeah, some places have them and some places don't. Like Italy isn't especially known for its waves, but has got a couple of professional surfers on the tour, on the World Surf League Championship Tour. Um, so yeah, it's you do find them. There's some there's a couple here. There's one, a really famous one in China. It's like a boar, um, Bore. So it's what happens when the tide will go up a river as opposed to, you know, going the usual course of the river. So you can actually, like here we've got the Severn bore, so Sever. Yeah, the Severn bore. So you have it's like a event that happens, and you know they know what time of year it's going to occur, and all these guys. I'm not sure where exactly it is. It's somewhere in England anyway. If you type it in, you'll find it. And they basically all, you know, wait for this wave to go up the river, and it's not just like one wave; it's like a wall of waves, if you know what I mean. But yeah, you can find waves in the weirdest of places. There's people who have surfed waves off falling parts of glacier. Obviously, that's more for a, you know, like a stunt, I guess, but it happens at the end of the day. You can do it. Dramageddon is fun for those of us not involved. Absolutely. This is the thing. I thought it was brilliant. It was delicious. It was, yeah, it was, I had a lot of fun. I wouldn't be bummed out if it happened again, to be honest with you. I know it's funny, right? Because the last time it happened, everyone's like a few days in, like, "Oh my god, man, are we still doing this?" I'm like, I hope this keeps going on. I'm bored in quarantine. Come on, dude. I want a bit more of this, which is why I'm happy that this whole Tatty without a crystal ball um, thing has come about again. It's dude, yeah, I knew she was gonna get herself in trouble, man. I knew she was gonna get herself in trouble because I saw that video of her, you know, saying that she got all those pieces of information, like bought the pieces of information about Tati and her husband and family. And here's the thing, right? So again, it sort of goes back to, I didn't even take a drink then, did I? It goes back to what I said about Sanders Kennedy um, in my video about him, which was these guys who are really obsessed with like getting scoops and like, oh man, I need to be the first with the information. I need it all to be credited to me. No one ultimately cares. No one ultimately cares. Like, do you think, right? So, you know, she was having to go at Nick for not crediting her, you know, without crystal ball. This is um, without, you know, for not crediting her for, you know, the information that he used, or screenshot or whatever it was. I can't even remember now because I've been talking for ages. My brain is a bit fried, but it, no, it's not like people are going to listen to that with Nick and go, "I tell you what." You know, who was that person again? I need to go and find them. It's like it just doesn't really happen. And with the Sanders Kennedy, it was the same thing. He came undone because he wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be the person, and he almost wanted to start a story out of thin air, out of nothing. And it really came back to bite him in the ass. I don't even know if he's still around. I think he's basically done. I haven't checked really, though, in all honesty, but and then he wanted to die on that hill, and it was I could just see a lot of comparisons between the two, between him and without a crystal ball. The thing is, I think without a crystal ball had a much shittier reputation amongst YouTubers in general, because of what she's done in the past. Excuse me, and it's really come back to bite her in the ass. And you know, she has a real big problem with Creepshow, which I'm never going to condone at all, because as if any of you know me and followed me on my channel for a little while, I think Creepshow is really sound. She's really nice. You know, she's a reason why I got an injection of subscribers in the first place. Or because I kicked off about YouTube demonetizing her for no good reason, and people are still using that whole demonetization thing, saying like, "Oh, Shannon does this and does that, and wonders why she got demonetized." And it's like, it was a glitch. We know it was a glitch. Ethan from H3 just called and said, "What's going on here?" And she got monetized straight away. So, like, what are you talking about, man? It's just funny the lengths that people go to sort of start drama because it's slow at the end of the day. But this is what happens when I think you try to make your drama your whole um, way of acquiring money. Basically, I guess is how you put it. She really got too invested in finding exclusives, but that is not always a good thing. May, it's not. People don't. People don't, right, for me, right, I don't go onto YouTube going, "Ooh, who's got the exclusive?" I see who I like, and I choose them because I want to hear them convey the message because they'll do it in a way that I enjoy. That's basically how it comes down to it. Because all these drama channels are going to be covering the same thing. All these commentary channels, they all cover the same thing. They all do it within a similar amount of time of each other, be it a day or a couple of days or whatever. So it doesn't really matter. It's the exclusive again. No one is really remembered for the exclusive. It's like, yeah, it's good to give credit, but it's not like people are gonna go, "Ooh, thanks for the crumbs." Like, I don't know. I can listen to the same story over and over if I like the creator exactly, exactly. Um, I'm going horse now. It's basically exactly. I don't care about exclusives either. No, it doesn't matter to me. I don't think it matters to a lot of people, and I think the people that it does matter to tend to be the side of the drama community I'm not really partial to anyway. Let's just leave it at that. Um, Skip, me, and I were talking about that last night. Yeah, it's funny. It's come up again and again. For me, it was really highlighted with the Sanders Kennedy um, debacle. It's just I thought it was so funny. He really wanted to die on that hill, and it was clearly bollocks. It was so clearly bollocks, man. Like it was just so funny to me that he was saying, "What's the name of the guy?" Oh, I spoke to Sergeant Payne, and he said that. And it's like I recorded him just to make sure, and it's like the police don't let you do that, man. Like it's just, and if so, you'd have to state, you'd say, I'm going to be recording this. Are you okay with that? And they'd go, no, just accept what I'm going to tell you, and like everyone else, you're no different. Like it's bizarre, man. It's really bizarre. I think she's the same. You know, I don't know. Like I say, I'm gonna save a lot more of what I'm going to talk about on that anyway for the video. I don't really want to go into it too much. I'm not doing some massive expose. It's just what I think on it. Um, and yeah, I'll do that tomorrow, and then I'll probably have that out on the Wednesday. And we'll see what people think of it. I don't, like I said, you probably can guess the tone of what it's going to be, but it's yeah, it's just she's just silly, isn't she? She's fucking silly, but that's what you get. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night. It's like I say, I'm going croaky now, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning here. I hope you all have a nice evening. I know obviously it's all going to be pretty crazy tomorrow for you guys over there in the States. Um, just know that everyone is, the rest of the world is watching with bated breath, and we got our fingers and toes crossed, and we hope that it all turns out the way hopefully it should. It's crazy times, man. It's crazy times, but like I say, I hope everyone is doing well, and yeah, might get another one of these in before the end of the week. So take it easy.